How far is someone willing to go to get what they want? Whether it's revenge, retaliation, reward, or the ultimate in maybe retribution. Some say they will go to hell and back to get what they deserve. Others simply say they sell their soul to the devil. I would like to think this Sunday, it covers a combination of those items as we now descend into WWE's version of hell. Hell in a cell. But I digress. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good night, whatever time it may be, whether you're up above or down below or somewhere in between. Welcome to another Simplin Predictin wrestling video. My name is Noah Foster, and I'm just your trusting simple man. And welcome once again, as I said, to another Simplin Predictin video. In this video, we, of course, will be highlighting WWE's upcoming pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. As we look forward to, I believe in the first time in Hell in a Cell pay-per-view history, three Hell in a Cell matches in one night and a couple of other matches, because why not? It's amazing to me how underdeveloped this card seems when you think about the amount of matches that we're actually going to get. But I digress. With that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first off, I want to discuss the match that just got added. As I come to you now, 11:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday night, October 23rd. I just got done carving a brand new masterpiece in my collection. Well, it's hard to get out of your hands. Meat blood, that is, when I was definitely trying to help my mom make a delicious meat dinner. I guess she wanted to go with tacos, but then I convinced her Friday night, let's do something fancy. Let's go with steak. I like when my steak bleeds. But anyway, so our first match, speaking of steak and meat, we got to talk about the guy that does steaks and weights, as Mr. Otis, who is currently the Money in the Bank contract holder, will now be defending his Money in the Bank contract this Sunday against The Miz. The Miz, a former Money in the Bank contract holder, cashed in successfully, including on Randy Orton. And we also have Otis, who has yet to cash in, but do you really ever see Otis cash in on Roman Reigns? I don't. I could definitely see there being more stock and build, and Miz being a former Mr. Money in the Bank, having the contract again, and potentially trying to cash in on one Drew McIntyre. It would take the W Championship into a different direction. But right now, it feels like stock is still in Otis at this point, as again, he does have basically a year to cash in the contract. So I think with that being said, I am going to say that Otis will somehow beat The Miz, despite the fact there will be, of course, John Morrison in his corner. I have a feeling that Tucky will be there as well. I feel that Otis is going to retain the Money in the Bank contract, because if he doesn't, he honestly has nothing left for him to do on SmackDown. Think about that. So Otis is my pick, progressionally. With that being said, we're moving to another match where we look at a man that goes to the highest of highs and crashes and burns sometimes for it, and a guy that simply wants to give you a performance, his performance. I am, of course, talking about Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Elias, of course, giving us a performance this past Monday from his latest album, Universal Truth, coming out literally next week. I did like his Amen song, actually. I thought it was pretty good. But anyway, Elias and Jeff Hardy, they have this grudge match, and I guess Elias believes Jeff Hardy ran him over with a car. If you remember that injury spot, that was based on Jeff Hardy's past habits, you know, the past sins of one's soul. Anyway, so we got Elias versus Jeff Hardy, not Hell in a Cell, not extreme, standard grudge match here. I sense that WWE is still putting in much more stock in Elias than they are Jeff Hardy, according to what I've read in recent reports as well. So I'm simply going to say that Elias will win here, and this feud will continue. It would not surprise me if it involved a guitar to the back of Jeff Hardy after interrupting his concert. And again, if y'all haven't heard that Amen song, I recommend it. Pretty darn good stuff. Okay, now let's get to the actual important matches and the purpose of this card, where we have revenge, retaliation, redemption, the ultimate and reward, possibly, as we have three Hell in a Cell matches. Although, if you ask me, two of them are pretty damn obvious. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. It's been said it could main event. It's been said it might not. We'll have to wait and see. And also, this is a bonus point, as I am part of the NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League, to name the match that will close the show. So based on my order, you know what match I'm going with. I am going to start with this one. because this one I care about the least. Once again, it's round 3 as Drew McIntyre takes on Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell. To think, this all could come down to just a simple finish, okay? Can the RKO overcome a Claymore, or vice versa? Will it take more than one or the other? But no, we got to go through Hell in a Cell after we get some legend spot tag with Randy Orton wearing some sort of night vision goggles that look like something cheap out of the Walmart dollar aisle. And then, of course, we have Drew McIntyre, who's been stuck in this never-ending story, it seems, with Randy Orton since SummerSlam. And I'm pretty damn sick of it. So with that being said, McIntyre has been an incredible champion. I know that people are figured about the idea, especially Vince, about Orton and Edge finishing off their rivalry, because they are technically rubber-wise in their rivalry, at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Is Randy Orton also on his way to beat John Cena's record? Congrats to your recent engagement, by the way. 16 title reigns. Is he going to be the guy to hit 17? Will this be another one towards it? Honestly, based on Drew McIntyre and the fact that he is the champion, just in the wrong time under the worst circumstances, considering what the world's going through, I am going to say that I want something fresh and new. I hope this moves on to something else, especially with the draft. And I'm optimistic that maybe The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, or Sheamus might confront him too. In order for that to happen the way I want, I have to say Drew McIntyre will retain. Because I don't want Drew McIntyre to lose the WWE Championship. I think he's been a phenomenal champion, and Randy Orton doesn't freaking need it. Okay, Randy Orton should just be continuing what he said he wants to do, and that's mix it up with the young guys, and I guess use as Vince's little put-over guy, since Dolph Ziggler is no longer on Monday Night Raw. So my pick is Drew McIntyre retains. Now then, let's go ahead and talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship match. A match that is way overdue, in my opinion, between these two, but kudos them being part of the top 5 of the PWI 500 in women's wrestling. As Bayley, the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, she takes on her former friend, I might add, Women's Tag Team Champion partner, Sasha Banks, the Boss, the Blueprint, both on SmackDown. It is the one title that has eluded Sasha Banks of completing the Grand Slam, and her recent Hell in a Cell history is not great. Of course, she did come off the best match last year from Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in the opener, where she took on Becky for the Raw Women's Championship in a hell of a match. And then, of course, we had the first ever match with Eye on the Table against Charlotte Flair, both of which she did lose. This, though, however, this has got to be the story of redemption and the ultimate reward in the biggest case of revenge. I have to believe, because she's beaten everybody, that it's time for Bayley to move aside and let Sasha Banks rule SmackDown like a boss, wearing the gold that will go with her attire. I pick that Sasha Banks finally becomes the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And to think, if this wasn't going to happen this soon, she might have been my pick for the Royal Rumble next year. Now that kind of is more so up in the air for me, but based on what might happen between then and there, that might change again too. Again, Sasha Banks, to me, when I look at the 4 so-called horsewomen of WWE, I think she's my second most favorite next to Becky, because I've always enjoyed her in-ring work, character, and overall potential. And she has given so much as far as of classics go in her run in WWE. She is driven by this more than I think the others combined. And she's going to do it for Eddie, I think, too, which I also support as well. So Sasha Banks, finally win the gold. Be the boss of SmackDown, beat Bayley. If you have to, use a chair, break her neck. Simple as that. Which leads us into what I believe will be the main event in an all-family affair, as the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, now defends his title, also inside Hell in a Cell, against family Jey Uso, and the stakes cannot be higher if you try, until they did, as this match will be an I Quit match. And based on SmackDown, if Jey loses, apparently Roman says that Jey's family, Jimmy's family, wife included, they will all be disowned by his dynasty, basically left high and dry, unless he literally falls in line. So the way I see this is going to go one of 2 ways. We are never going to see the Usos basically in the same limelight as Roman Reigns again, or we got a heel faction coming, because Roman Reigns is going to make Jey Uso not say I quit, but you are the tribal chief, and literally make him his minion, puppet, sideline guy, forming this so-called bloodline faction that you know was teased a while back. And while it has been teased in interviews, including a real position, that Usos would not mind being a heel, being a Roman side, with Paul Heyman there as well. Thought that would be pretty cool. I can definitely see this being the first step towards that. I've enjoyed this story phenomenally. It has been the best thing in WWE, in my opinion, outside of the black and gold. And right now, it's almost surpassing the black and gold for me, too, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But with that being said, I am curious how this all plays out. This, to me, has the most potential to give us the wildest of surprises and endings as we think about who could be next for Roman Reigns. Because the bottom line is this: no matter how you try and play this out, creative, typical, predictable, whatever your case and mindset might be, in my opinion, I truly believe there is no chance, and I mean no chance in hell, that Jey Uso is becoming the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns is one way or another going to force Jey to say I quit. Even if Jimmy says I quit on his behalf, it won't matter, because Roman will inflict punishment until he bleeds like a Sith and passes out from unconsciousness, until he hears those words, I quit, or you are the tribal chief. Bottom line, I believe this will close the show, and Roman Reigns will end the show literally wishing off his brother or welcoming him to his dynasty. Maybe that will be the name of Roman Reigns' faction. Bottom line, there's got to be a Roman Reigns faction coming. But I digress. As far as our stuff goes, who the fuck cares? There's nobody for Asuka. Neither of the tag team champions have a real #1 contender right now. And is there really any other serious grudge to actually care about right now in WWE? No. But based on what happened on SmackDown, I could see Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan having a little bit of an exhibition, if nothing more of a promo. I like the potential idea of Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan being a tag team. And as far as Monday Night Raw, Shayna Baszler puts Lana through another table. Lana calls out Asuka. Who the fuck knows? Hopefully, I hope this actually is it, because this actually sounds like a decently length pay-per-view, but I know they're going to have some bullcrap match in the kickoff. Maybe Natalya versus Lana. I don't know. But honestly, as my excitement goes for this pay-per-view, let's just say my background is hotter than my overall anticipation for this pay-per-view as a whole. Scale of 1 to 10, 3. But hey, at least there's 3 Hell in the Cells, and they all look promising. And I hope that true terror, horror, violence, and destruction awaits us, as I want to see something memorable from what I think is one of the worst gimmick pay-per-views in WWE since its friggin' inauguration. Because every Hell in a Cell pay-per-view has sucked as a whole. And don't get me started on last year with Seth Rollins and The Fiend. Fucking terrible. But I digress. Like I said, gimmick pay-per-views really suck when you think about it. And when you overkill a gimmick, it defeats the purpose, I feel, of the gimmick, makes it feel less important. And maybe that's also just the fact I'm tired of the whole WWE monthly pay-per-view model. Just saying. But I digress. But hey, it's draft time. Maybe I should be a bit more optimistic. Maybe greater things are to come. Maybe I should trust them. Yeah, that'll be a day in hell. But I digress. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. You want to know more about me? Know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of ... wrestling. Instagram, Twitter, PlayStation, YouTube, and Foster 1916. Twitch and Foster 191625 and coming October 24th, I celebrate my 2nd year as a YouTuber. Probably will do some simple stream before Bound for Glory as well. Join the NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League for either Bound for Glory exhibition or continuation of the WWE Predictions League. The Hell in the Cell forum will literally be up as this video is up too. With that being said, I hope you all are doing wonderful this fine time, wherever you watch this video. And thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell notifications on this channel. Hit the subscribe button, help me keep going on this channel. Shout out to 170 with you. That's been with me this fun YouTuber's greatest journey. It's not laying up anytime soon. As always, I'd like to close support of wrestling outlets, big and small, and support of wrestling is the heart of it, folks. And let's keep growing this incredibly diverse, unique, fiery wrestling community together. Simple as that. That's all I have to say for now. So unless you want to literally end up here in hell in your own way or fashion, please take care, be positive, enjoy life, enjoy wrestling. Wear a fucking mask over your nose and mouth so we can get through this damn thing together. Normality will eventually ensue again. Maybe 2021, maybe 2022 if we're lucky. Not that I'm being political, but that could definitely be part of the reason. And until the next video, where it will be something that I'm probably going to be much more excited and invested in, I hope you all just enjoy your lives and have a wonderful night. Simple as that.